Darkseer against the Bloodseeker one-on-one, but Bone 7, he's just going to right-click him out, and this is the strength of the Bloodseeker. He doesn't really care about the level 1, level 2 Ion Shell, because he can just stand his ground, fight. The Pugna isn't really going to help him out too much in the lane, just because it's a Pugna.
Right.
The reason you pick it isn't for the lane dominance that it gives you, it's for the safe push that you can get out of it, and that nether ward in the mid-game, but... so this top lane is going to be pretty neutral. It's this bottom lane and this mid lane that I'm worried about right now, because Super is doing a really good job of denying out Vada. He's keeping up in CS. And
yeah, we're seeing Super harken back to an older sniper where you would actually ignore shrapnel. Super would tend to go for this exact build where he would really try to use his early range to harass out and out CS the enemy mid. Now we saw How actually drop very low, those constant decays. He had 340 max HP at one point in time due to Big Daddy's no-tails, just constant spam.
Alright, this top lane is going to get hard now because he's just going to keep putting double Ion Shell. He's actually decided to go for the boots, which tells me he might just go for a bottle instead, but he's really getting aggressive in this top lane. His Bone 7 can't really zone him out. He's actually just punching his way to freedom. His Bone 7, he's just got to get every last hit here.
Yeah, very critical you don't fall around that half HP, because then every single time you move forward up against the Ion Shell, it's critical that you get those last hits to start healing yourself up. Bloodseekers tend not to bring any regen in lane because they depend on Blood Rage, but this also can be a downside. If you drop too low in HP, then an enemy offlaner will just aggressively push you away from the creeps entirely, and you won't be able to have that opportunity for regeneration.
Something a little bit troubling for me right now is that this Darkseer is doing such a good job at top. He's got 14 CS already, and Queen of Pain isn't really matching him. Actually gave up first blood at the same time, so the laning phase is working out quite well for C9. As there's actually one stack for the Shadow Fiend to fall back upon, but that's not really going to make up for the CS difference right now.
Right.
Super's finally got 2 levels of the shrapnel now, and he wants to get aggressive.
Do you think that should be Misery's full-time job at this point, just constantly stacking up? Because it seems clear he's not going to have that much of an effect.
In mid lane, Fada, he might be going down. The fissure to fly.
Yeah, Fenrir's holding on to it in the last second. Will throw it out now. Beautiful block, and Super easily going to be able to pick up that kill thanks to his buddy, the Earthshaker. Nice rotation into lane, and Vici Gaming now stretch that lead 2-0.
We always talk about FY, but we don't talk about the other half of the support duo. FY and Fenrir, one of the most revered combos. You're seeing right there why, because he doesn't really need FY to execute those ganks. The perfect timing on the fissure, blocks out Fada so he has nowhere to go, and just helps the sniper get even further ahead, and this is not what the Shadow Fiend needs.
Super 22-10. I love the high number of denies he's got, particularly against an SF who's so dependent on getting CS in order to raise his damage through souls. Ice is actually looking for the stacks now, and he actually wants to be able to take this one away. Perhaps this is the big downside. Vici Gaming very smartly, even if Misery is going to be full-time stacking, he's not going to have the opportunity to clear through that. Now, Fada, of course,
they've got that snipe
dropping low enough for the snipe coming in. They get the kill. Oh, beautiful opportunity. And now, if they take away the stack as well, what does Fada have to fall back on? I mean, we always talk about, SFs, they always have a way back into the game, even if the lane is very hard for them. They always have those stacks. They're going to be able to get the kill on No-Tail, picking that one up, but need a little bit more. Fenrir strikes him with the Enchant Totem, and now Eternal Envy will finish off the kill on the support. He needs to blink away. At the same time, we did have some action farther up. Oh, they actually going to be able to get the kill still on How Undying. Picks it up there with the tombstone, and FY
he has
to
vision
run
of
himself away. He still has the cold embrace to heal himself up, but Eternal Envy has the damage. He just needs 2 more right clicks. The one actually keeps FY alive, and he finally does go down. Eternal Envy gets him thanks to the Bloodseeker's vision.
And that bottom lane is going to be the saving grace for them right now, as Fada, even his stack right there was kind of ruined. I don't think he anticipated that snipe coming in. It's been such a long time since anybody's played against a sniper that you probably just don't think about it. It's like, okay, a Darkseer's running at me. What is this actually going to lead to? I can just run away, but Super and Ice connect to get a kill on the solo mid hero. And Vici Gaming is still firmly in control of this laning phase.
Fenrir kind of positioned for a Fissure block, potentially, but it's still, the only block you're going to be able to get is against an Undying. Don't really want to be fighting into that, particularly since No-Tail is constantly spamming out the decay. Always making sure he has those stacks. Fissure block, making sure Eternal Envy can't actually get to that rune unless he wants to blink for it. You get a good amount of damage out from FY, and Fenrir will guard that Invis rune, perhaps waiting to use it against the mid SF.
So Ice does go for the bottle. When you go for the boots instead of the recipe, this is fairly obvious. You still have to go for the Soul Ring, but I think Ice just values being able to win that lane at top, so he goes to the bottle. He knows that he doesn't have to alternate to the jungle super soon. This is just the Pugman and a Bloodseeker. And meanwhile in mid, I mean, Super's got pretty much complete lane control. With 3 levels of the Shrapnel and the Assassinate, he's got such high kill potential. Fada can't just stand there. Like, that's the only thing that he can do to get back in the game. Go to the jungle, clear out the camps, play safe. Because if Super kills you solo especially, your chances of getting back into this game are nil.
Bone 7, he now has his Rupture, so Ice is going to have to be a little careful of that, but of course, he already has his TP scroll, and Misery doesn't actually have a disable to stop Ice from just TPing away if those Rupture is ever used, so Ice will just continue to spam out Ion Shell after Ion Shell, and Bone 7 is actually having to sit back. They're going to go for the gank in bottom lane, actually. The Tombstone's already been laid out. They're chasing, but Vici Gamer going to be able to get back.
Oh, Ice, he stopped the TP with the level 1 vacuum. He's chasing for this too.
TP comes in. Bone 7 will be fine. Still, Vici Gaming, I mean, forcing this movement around from Cloud9, just continuing to show such dominance in the laning phase here. Everywhere you look, it seems like they're winning every single lane. The bottom lane, of course, just being a little bit more troublesome than most, but well worth it as their 2 solos are easily established.
Oh, Ice, he's going to walk into the jungle.
Once again,
Blood Rage just popped at the same time. He's taking so much damage with this.
He needs a little bit more, but the silence is there just in time to stop Ice from getting the surge. He wants to go for it underneath the tier 2 tower. It doesn't matter. He'll get the kill anyway, and quick to TP out on top.
Ice, the god. This is the 2nd game in a row. He's been given the one-on-one matchup, and this is a matchup he definitely wins. As the Darkseer, it's so hard for the Bloodseeker to be able to stand there.
Careful there, Misery. This is Super. His right clicks, just 2 shots and an Assassinate to finish him off. The Crepify will not save you there, my friend.
And right now, C9 are going for this gank at bottom. There is a smoke on their SF, but they're going to get this stacked camp, but I don't quite know if this is enough for them.
It's a 2-stack. It doesn't make up for what Ice took earlier.
Yeah, Vici Gaming right now, what they're doing is so smart. They're just slowing the bleeding at this bottom lane. They're saying, okay, we're not going to give them any opportunity to get back in this bottom lane. So let's just wait it out, see what happens. The rest of our lanes are doing so well. Somebody has to constantly deal with Ice at top. And he always has a TP, so this Bloodseeker on his own can't really pressure him. And he's just going to keep doing the double Ion Shell stack.
Queen of Pain, level 6 here, Vici Gaming. They're actually trying to chase him out of their jungle. Note the very aggressive wards being placed by Cloud9. One inside the jungle, and the other one actually looking towards the hard camp. Eternal Envy turns on the ultimate with the Tombstone on top. Fenrir turns around and gets off the Fisher, but he knows he's done for. FY is just going to TP out, limiting the kills to just 1 for Cloud9.
And he, on a killing spree, doing a really good job of trying to keep up in this game, but it's still a Queen of Pain that doesn't have a lot of CS and is struggling to keep up in levels. So it's great that he's getting a killing spree, but he's still only level 7, and he's not going to be able to really snowball off of this. When it comes to last hits, he's in the bottom 5 of the game.
Putting pressure on that middle tier 1 tower with the physical damage of Fada. He's got 29 souls. They can easily take out this tier 1 tower if they're given another 10 seconds or so. Misery is actually coming over. He's got level 3 Nether Blast as well. But I doubt Vici Gamer are going to give up such critical map control. In fact, they're now pushing aggressively against Fada, but they're not going to be able to find him, and Cloud9 inside of the enemy jungle will not be able to rotate in response.
Ice almost has that mech completed, and I think when he does, they want to get into these fights because they realize that the turnaround potential from C9 is kind of poor.
Oh, that courier sneaking away. Eternal Envy really wanted it. Still staying ahead. Eternal Envy, though, doesn't have the blink up.
I was trying to bait them there. They had the vision of that. They're going to spot Misery rotate. Going to see him mid right now, and I mean, nothing seems to be breaking C9's way right now.
Ice, he's got a haste rune in his bottle right now. He's willing to play forward against Cloud9. Doesn't really matter how many heroes, simply because they do not have the stuns. So Cloud9 going to focus on objectives again. Not trying to go for the kill on Ice in any way. Knows that the tier 1 tower is the only thing they can take here. Vici Gaming, meanwhile, actually staying away from these fights. But what you said just 30 seconds ago is what really scares me here, is the fact that Vici Gaming are in a position where they almost want to go for fights once they have this mech, where you know, early on, we were looking at the draft, and it was like Cloud9, you know, they're supposed to be the team fight dominators, and yet they've lost the laning phase so early on. Ice really got it for this kill, trying to pick it up, but now he's Decrep fight up. Fada still needs to be able to turn around and get up the reason to finish him up, but will not be able to. Now Ice, he knows he's dead. He got the kill on the SF. He is happy. In the meantime, Super did claim also that tier 1 tower in the top lane. As the Undying goes down as well.
Ice is just creating so much space around the map. The fact that a sniper with 800 HP was able to solo push a tier 1 tower from that much HP is pretty insane. And he also got the kill on the Shadow Fiend, who's struggling so hard right now. Fada's situation is so dire. He's got 0-3-1, only 56 CS, which is pretty pedestrian. When you're a Shadow Fiend, you expect to have around 65-70, including the jungle, but every single time he's built up any momentum, immediately ganked. And Ice just goes for the kill on him every single time, applies the pressure, realizes that he's really close to his mech. He's actually got it completed now, but Fada's nowhere near anything. And C9, in response, are finally going to start to push down towers. They realize, okay, the pick-off potential is a little bit too high. The laning phase didn't go the best, but we still have Tombstone.
But Vici Gaming are going to go for the defense here. They just picked up the mech, and they're going to rotate in with a smoke on the courier. They're going to make a surprise jump here on Cloud9, who are probably assuming that they're going to be giving up these tier 1 towers just because of the natural teamfight dominance that their draft has given them. But Vici Gaming, they're going to try and go. Starting off with Fada, they're going to jump forward. Fisher to start things off. Already the Tombstone is laid out, but Fada is gone, and now the Vacuum's going to be able to catch Misery on top of that one. The Decrepify is there on the Tombstone without any heroes to back it up. They're not going to be able to do much. The Bloodright is laid down. Vici Gaming will all dodge it, and now Big Daddy No Tail's in a bad position. Eternal Envy comes in, throws out a big ultimate. Will be able to eliminate 2, but Eternal Envy with the blink forward is now going to be taken out by Super's Mask of Madness. Well, it looks like Bone Step is going to fall as well with the Assassinate to finish him off. How dominating spree, Sniper as well. Vici Gaming establishing a huge lead here in this game too.
That was such a beautiful trap that they set. The Earthshaker was in perfect position. They completely lock in the enemy team from C9, and they just were forced to fight, but it was such an inefficient position. They had both the Death Ward down and the Tombstone, but it made no difference because